Hey everyone, welcome to your Universe Z, the place where we talk all about the Dragon Ball universe. Today we are going to go through Goku absorbing the power of the Dragon Balls. If you would like to see more Dragon Ball content, please leave your like and subscribe to join our Universe Z. Dragon Spheres, ever since Dragon Ball Classic, have always been one of the most interesting elements of the work. Though they have been somewhat neglected as time has gone by, we still sometimes have scenes where they still shine, with Shenron or other dragons gaining prominence. But after all, what are the powers and abilities that a dragon orb can give someone? Would it be possible for someone who wanted even more power to fuse with the spheres themselves? What would happen to someone who was able to absorb their powers for themselves? Let's try to talk about all of this in today's video. Dragon spheres are the titular artifacts of the Dragon Ball series. They are large crystalline spheres of varying sizes and colors that feature 5-pointed stars ranging from 1 to 7 and also varying in sizes and colors, as well as being rigid or flat in appearance within them, similar to glass art. Individually, they are powerless, but when the 7 balls are united, they have the ability to summon their associated eternal dragon who can grant wishes. Dragon spheres come in sets of 7 with each ball displaying the number of stars signifying its respective number in the set. It was said by Colonel Silver that the dragon spheres are unbreakable when he dropped a fake dragon sphere. Vegeta probably didn't know this when he ordered Kuririn to destroy one before the Ginyu Force took them in Namekusei. In the Fusion Saga, while Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is fighting Super Buu, Piccolo says, if you break even one of the balls, they can never be used again, which could mean that the dragon spheres are not completely indestructible or that they are destructible when turned to stone, as they were turned to stone at the time. While the dragon spheres take a year to return to normal, there were 2 instances where they were used more than once in a year. The first example of this was when Kami revived Shenron and told Goku that it would normally take a year since King Piccolo made a wish to restore his youth just a few days earlier, but he decided to make an exception for Goku and his friends this time. The second and final time this happened was when Piccolo, and later Kami, died during the battle with Nappa, and were later revived, effectively resetting the dragon spheres, allowing them to be used to revive everyone killed by Frieza and his men at Namekusei, with the first wish to revive Goku happening about a month earlier. The exception to this is when the summoner chooses to save his wishes, at which point the Dragon Balls become inert for 4 months. Each set of Dragon Balls is difficult to find because they are spread throughout their respective planet, throughout their respective universe/galaxy, depending on the Dragon Ball GT dub, in the case of the Black Star Dragon Balls, across multiple universes in the case of Super Dragon Balls, or even across time and space in the case of Dark Dragon Balls, whether they are deactivated for 1 year after each wish, although this depends on their origins. Since a name Kian year is almost a third, 130 days, of a year on Earth, 365 days, so Namekusean Dragon Balls may be used more frequently than those on Earth, disguising themselves as stones. To create an opportunity to summon an eternal dragon, one must travel around the world to retrieve it. As technology has progressed, this has become somewhat easier, and has become relatively simple with Bulma's invention of the Dragon Radar. Although the dragon spheres are programmed to spread to a specific location after being used, it is shown that at least one can be prevented from spreading alongside the others. When Goku jumped into the air and caught the 4-star ball, he can fly away at the end of the Baba Cartomancer saga. Despite the miraculous feats an eternal dragon can perform, its wish fulfillment capabilities are the said limits of the dragon's powers are set by the relative abilities of the creator of the Dragon Ball set, unable to physically exceed the power of said creator. Example, they cannot kill someone the creator is unable to kill. However, if the wisher is willing, the eternal dragon can briefly override its normal wish-granting limitations in proportion to how much life energy the wisher is willing to give up. Another major problem for any set of dragon spheres is that their creator must be alive for them to function, otherwise they will be stones for eternity. Dragon spheres can become inactive if the dragon model breaks. Likewise, if the dragon is destroyed, the model breaks. Without a model of the dragon and a set of dragon spheres, in their stone form, it would take about 100 days to create the dragon spheres, as mentioned by Den before modifying them. Creator allows it. The dragon spheres can be used even if a year has not passed. This happens only once in the series, when Kami allowed Goku and his friends to revive all the people killed by King Piccolo, even though only a few days had passed since King Piccolo wished to restore his youth. Since all 7 dragon spheres must be gathered together, although it is not known exactly what the maximum distance between the spheres is for them to be considered together, it is often a good strategy employed by the villains in the series to find a drag, grab hold of it, while the Z warriors go to the trouble of finding the other 6, after which the villain will step in and steal them. Since this strategy technically works, but is considered cheap, the Z fighters generally do not employ it, as they prefer to fight fair. However, the Z fighters did use this tactic during the Namek saga, when Gohan took the 4-star dragon sphere Namekusean from Vegeta, because Kuririn and Gohan knew that they could not defeat Vegeta or Frieza's forces without Goku's help, so they resorted to this tactic just this once. The power of the dragon spheres is not limited to summoning Shenron. As speculated by Eska, The Namekusean dragon spheres are capable of maintaining the physical state of New Namek and its inhabitants long after Moro has drained their energy, allowing them to return to life with the energy brought back by Vegeta's Force Spirit Fission. Old Kai once warned the Z warriors not to abuse the dragon spheres. This is elaborated in Dragon Ball GT's Shadow Dragon Saga, as the dragon spheres are only to be used once every 100 years. Best known dragon sphere is the 4-star dragon sphere, being the one that Grandpa Gohan had and that Goku kept after he passed away, and also being the one that Goku put in the hat of his first son Gohan. Dragon Ball Namekusean that Vegeta stole, and which was later stolen from him by Gohan, was also the 4-star sphere. In Dragon Ball Z, Broly, the Second Coming, the 4-star sphere is the last dragon sphere to be collected before Trunks, Goten, and Videl summoned Shenron, and it was also the last ball to be found by Bulma before she summoned Shenron to wish back those who were killed by Majin Vegeta in the 25th World Martial Arts Tournament. In the Black Star Dragon Ball Saga of Dragon Ball GT, the first Black Star Dragon Ball collected is the 4-star Dragon Ball. Later, in Shadow Dragon Saga, the only good Shadow Dragon, Nuova Shenron, is the 4-star dragon. During the Tournament of Destroyers in Dragon Ball Super, the nameless planet itself, the tournament location Goku and company were fighting, is revealed to be the 4-star Super Dragon Ball all along, completing the entire Super Dragon Ball set that was collected and assembled. With that in mind, we then come to the question, is it possible for someone to merge with the Dragon Balls? Well, that might actually be something to consider. After all, once you are reunited with all of them and have the right to make a request, that could be your wish, and it would happen. However, merging with the spheres sounds strange. What if someone could absorb your powers? What would happen? Assuming that this person were to ask Shenron directly, he would grant this power. And then we would have a sort of being with the ability to possibly summon Shenron whenever he or she wished, being able to make the necessary wish. Of course, in this case, it is possible that something like a new restriction would be created for this person, such as only being able to make one wish per day, or every so many days, weeks, or months. However, regardless of the restriction, the person who was able to absorb his or her powers would certainly get extraordinary powers, and could be persecuted by others of bad nature. In this case, the person in question would need to be powerful enough to defend himself. But just imagine what would happen if Goku were such a person, being able to make any request of Shenron at will. After all, we know that they both know each other from long ago, so surely that could happen. Would still be restrictions. However, we know that Goku is someone with a good reputation, preventing Shenron from needing to doubt his mentality. Not greedy or demand strength without effort, so certainly the power of the spheres would only be brought out when it was something really necessary to be done. As we have seen, the spheres don't just allow you to summon Shenron, but to do several other things as well. So, tell me, what new abilities do you think Goku could develop by absorbing the powers of the dragon spheres? Leave your opinion in the comments. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for videos, don't forget to comment here below, because I'll be reading all of them as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your Universe Z.